Hello there. I'm here today to talk to you about a few simple things that you can do to start balancing, to start adjusting your relationship to technology, your relationship to screens. Now, you may be here because you have a loved one who has excessive screen issues, but one of the things that I talk about in my book, Get Off That Game Now, The Essential Family Guide to Healthy Screen Behavior, is that if you're a parent and you have a child that has problems with technology, you got to point the finger at yourself first. If you have a spouse or if you have a loved one that has problems with technology, you got to point the finger at yourself first because we're all struggling with this. We all, to an increasingly and to a disturbingly large extent, are transacting our life through screens. So in a few minutes, I'm going to give you some concrete steps that you can do right now, some concrete steps that you can do right after you watch this video, and one concrete step that you can do this evening. Now, I want to review for you a couple things that I covered in the first few videos of this series. First of all, we live in an age of instant gratification. We live in an age where we don't have to work to find satisfaction, to find entertainment. We don't have to work to find validation. For a lot of these things, we want to be entertained. We don't have to call friends. We don't have to go out anywhere. We don't have to go to the movies. What do we have to do? We have to pick up our phone. We're watching reels, reel after reel after reel after reel. We're watching YouTube, which is what you're doing right now. We're going on Facebook. And if you want validation, if you're not feeling loved, you can post something on Facebook and see how many likes you get. Or you can do the same thing on Instagram. My point is that so many of us transact our lives through the phones. There's one very large and disturbing feature about this that is actually robbing us of joy. It's actually robbing us of a sense of satisfaction. And I'll tell you exactly what that is. It has to do, and we covered this in the first couple videos, with the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine is a neurochemical. You've heard a lot about it. Everybody kind of knows what dopamine is, but it's a neurotransmitter in the brain that's heavily involved in experiencing reward, experiencing satisfaction. It's also involved in focus, organization, planning. And here's what happens. Let's say that I have a test in 2 weeks for my math class. I am anticipating that I want a good grade on that test. I am anticipating that I want an A. It is that anticipation of doing well on that test that is what activates the dopamine in my brain. It activates dopamine. Increased levels of dopamine are released in the anticipation. I'm anticipating a reward. I'm anticipating that feeling of satisfaction that's going to come when I get the A. Got that? But the problem is, in the modern world, is that we don't have to work hard to get a sense of reward anymore. So many of us are pursuing reward, pursuing entertainment, pursuing information, pursuing our connections with other human beings through a screen that we don't have to do any work. So here's the tricky thing about dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is released in anticipation of a reward. So I know that I'm going to feel good when I get a good grade on a test. I know I'm going to feel good when I get my room cleaned. I know I'm going to feel good when I go downstairs and I pull out all the glass and Tupperware containers in these 2 drawers and I organize it, because every time I open those drawers, stuff falls out and I got to clean it up. I put it off. But I know that I'm going to feel good when I do that. But here's the problem. A lot of us are not doing the things that are going to lead to reward and lead to satisfaction and lead to us feeling joy in our lives because we spend so much of our energy pursuing reward through our phones. Now, here's what happens. I watch one reel because I think it's going to really be fun. I think it's going to really be interesting. but it doesn't leave me with a sense of reward. So once that reel is done, I'm anticipating that this next one might be really interesting, so I watch that one. But then after it's done, I don't have that deep sense of satisfaction, the kind of satisfaction you get from cleaning out that drawer, the kind of satisfaction you get from getting an A on a test, the kind of satisfaction you get from planting seeds in your garden so that the flowers will grow. These things take patience, they take time. But you see, the phone, the smartphone, the computer, technology in general, it offers us instant gratification. And the problem is our attention spans are decreasing as a result. That's the crazy thing. I am a specialist, like 30 years, in attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And so for several decades, I've been dealing with people who have issues of focus on one thing, focus on boring situations, persistence in school. But the problem is with technology, it's not just people with ADHD brains that are having these problems, it's wider and wider swaths of our population. So, attention spans are decreasing because of our dependence on smartphones and on technology. Tasks that are kind of ordinary or mundane, those are seeming really boring, and we don't want to do them anymore. That's something that we see in ADHD, but now with technology, we're seeing it in non-ADHD people. And tasks that are difficult are now seeming impossible, and so people don't even start them. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was going to start watching a series on Netflix, and he said to me, yeah, I don't know if I want to invest that kind of time tonight in watching a series. I talked to him the next day, my friend Doug, and I said, what'd you do? Did you start that series? He said, no, I just kind of played around on Facebook and watched reels. So I think that's what a lot of us are doing. So what I'm going to give you today, first of all, before I give you some quick tips that can help you get things more in balance, I want you to hit the subscribe button, because I believe that this problem of technology is getting worse and worse and worse. And I think we have to turn it around, because it's not just you as an adult that's having a problem, it's children. I mean, think about it. The ordinary and mundane aspects of school, kids are finding that those tasks increasingly boring. Kids are using technology to not do their work. They're using AI. I think we've got to really, as a society, have a conversation about this and turn the situation around so that we don't end up with a group of stupid and lazy do-nothing kids. Because I'm afraid I know I might be sounding like an old man, but I see it at my study groups. I see it with the kids that I work with. So hit that subscribe button, because that's the best way to get this information out to people who need it. Now, I used to work as a translator and interpreter in the automotive industry, and I learned a concept in that work called Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N, and it's a Japanese concept for constant improvement. Kaizen teaches that if you want to make changes in your life, don't think about the big changes. Break it down into little baby steps and find the little baby steps that you can take. If you take baby steps every day, over a few days, in a few weeks, in a few months, you will create huge change. So here's the first baby step I'm going to give you today. As soon as this video is over, like it, subscribe, and share it, of course. But as soon as this video is over, I want you to put your phone down for 30 minutes. If you can put it down for longer, that's fine, but put it down for 30 minutes. Now, if you can do that, it can be helpful if you put it in your room, or if you put it someplace where you're not going to hear the notifications. Just give yourself the opportunity of deliberately, with intention, putting your phone down. With that, before you put the phone down, or maybe right after, I want you to think about something that you've been putting off. I want you to think about something that you've been procrastinating on. For me, as soon as I'm done shooting this video, I'm going to go down to the kitchen and I'm going to reorganize my glass container and Tupperware drawer. fact, I might even take a video of that so that I can prove to you that I did it. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I want you to find something that you have been procrastinating on, and I want you to do it during that 30 minutes when you put your phone down. Now, if you put your phone down for longer than 30 minutes, fine. But I want you to I don't want it on your body. I don't want it in your pocket. I want it in some other room. That's step number 1. Step number 2, this evening, or at least one evening this week, I want you to stop using your phone at 8 p.m. I want you to put your phone on the charger, wherever it goes. I want you to stop using it at 8 p.m. If you want to go the extra mile, put your phone in sleep mode every night at 8 p.m. Boy, I know that might seem crazy to a lot of you. That's going the extra mile. But for now, stop using your phone at least one night a week, preferably tonight, but pick one night and stop using your phone at 8 o'clock in the evening. And let's see how that goes. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you follow my advice, you are going to start the process of resetting your brain. And if you reset the brain, you're going to really, in many ways, be resetting the dopaminergic, that's a big word, the dopaminergic networks of your brain. And if you do that, over time, you follow me on this Kaizen idea, over time, you're going to increase your focus, your ability to pay attention. You're going to increase your ability to effectively and efficiently do ordinary and mundane tasks. And you're going to increase your ability to tackle difficult tasks and challenges. And if you start doing these things, you can help your loved ones, perhaps your children, start doing these things. But I strongly advise you to start with yourself. Now, I want you to understand that I believe, after my research as well as my professional experiences, because I deal with people who, by and large, misuse their smartphones, misuse their screen. I believe that our smartphones are getting in the way of our productivity. I believe our smartphones are getting in the way of our joy. Now, I'm going to say one more thing about that relates to the experience of dopamine. When I spend significant amounts of my day scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Reels, watching one YouTube video after another, what happens is those things are not ultimately very satisfying or rewarding to me. And so what happens is I do them because I think they are going to be satisfying and rewarding, but they end up not being that way. I don't get that experience from them. Think about it in yourself. When you watch lots of stuff, when you get lost on your phone for 30 minutes or an hour, do you feel good about that? No, you don't. But then we continue doing the same thing over and over again, day after day after day. And that happens because a lot of us are experiencing constant craving. We're constantly craving satisfaction because we're doing things with our smartphones that are not leading to satisfaction. But if you will keep coming here and you will take my advice on these simple steps, what we're going to do is we're going to reset your brain. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, please make sure you like and subscribe. And by golly, if you can, please share this so that we can get this information out and not only reset my brain and your brain, but maybe we can get lots of other people to reset their brains. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon.